Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back here to today's edition of Intuitive Angling, and really appreciate you guys checking out today's video and spending some time with me. And guys, today I want to talk about something that is very necessary for every bass angler to know, every angler in general, and that is how to handle an on-the-water confrontation. Because if you fish enough, it's going to be inevitable. You're going to get into it with somebody, another tournament competitor, another bass fisherman, another recreational fisherman, a jet skier, or a pleasure boater, a pontoon driver, some Karen on a boat dock. You're going to get into it. And guys, I want to give you guys some good, very hard-earned tips and advice on how to deal with these people in today's episode. Also, guys, before we get started, I want to share one quick tip with you guys. One of my favorite, well, probably my favorite way to catch bass in the month of November coming up. At the time of filming this video, we're in the third week of October, is ripping or burning a spinnerbait. And this is the one I use, guys. This is the Megabass SV3 spinnerbait. This is a ripping spinnerbait. Little fish head design on it, small wheel leaf blades. It's got a hand-tied skirt on it here. It runs true as an arrow through the water, which you need for burning. And guys, take this little SV3 and fish it parallel to windy rocky banks or bluffs or points, especially on cloudy, windy days, if you have water visibility of over 3 feet, and they will hammer this thing. Keep it about an inch under the water, fast retrieve, and it's so fun to fish. But I'll put my Megabass SV3 spinnerbait link in the description of this video if you guys like to order one. But this is the finest ripping, burning spinnerbait that you can get, so really appreciate that. Okay, guys, dealing with on-the-water boneheads here, this is something we all need to talk about because it is going to come up. Now, one of the things I want to say about this is that every situation is different that you're going to encounter on the water. The personalities of people that you run into are different. The scenarios are going to be different. Sometimes it's their fault, sometimes it's your fault, sometimes it's a combination. A lot of the confrontations that you run into are a result of misunderstanding, and they can be diffused pretty quickly if you have, any type of diplomacy skills. I want to give you guys one piece of advice though. Don't think you're some tough guy. If some guy comes up to you or something and starts mouthing you, the worst thing you can do, guys, is assume that you have the ability or skills or situational awareness to mouth back and get all puffed up about it. Because I can tell you one thing, a lot of you guys know I fought competitively for years. You can never underestimate your opponent. Some of the toughest bouts that I ever had in my, when I was fighting was against some of the people that were the most unassuming, some of the nerdy type people. Don't ever underestimate your opponent. So if you are confronted by some guy and you think you're in position to start mouthing this dude, you better think twice because it can go south very quick on you. Don't ever assume that. Aside from just the obvious potential physical altercation that come of it, you don't know when some goob's gonna pull out a 9mm and just blow you away. He may be having a bad day. His wife may have left him. He may have found out his wife's cheating on him. He may have nothing to live for. And you may just hit it wrong and he may just pull a gun out and blow you away. You read about it every day. So don't ever get this big tough guy mentality that you're gonna get all puffed up and you're gonna start yelling and you're gonna start mouthing some dude, because I can assure you guys that is the quickest way to turn a situation that does not need to be escalating to something out of control. Very important to remember that. Okay, so how do you want to handle this? First of all, a lot of the confrontations that you have, or a lot of the situations I've had, the disagreements, had to do with territorial rights. Say, for example, somebody pulled up on you too close, or you may have pulled up on somebody too close. You don't really know what that window is. Some people's comfort zone is more than others. Some people, it's like you pull up on them, it's like, yeah, pull on here, no problem, we'll start fishing. And some guys, you pull up 100 yards from them and they'll freak out on you. So every situation is different, and everybody has a different idea of who's in the right and who's in the wrong. I mean, that is usually where the confrontation begins with. So the first thing that you want to do is, if you're fishing and somebody, slights you or does something mad that you're upset about, or if you happen to do something to somebody else, you've got to open a line of communication. Now, if you're one of those dudes out there that immediately starts getting an attitude and start cussing, just stop it. That is sophomoric, juvenile bullshit. Act like an adult and start having a civil conversation. That's the main thing. There's so many dudes out there that are mouthy, big mouths. They think they're super tough guys and they're not. Don't escalate a conversation by having this tone in your voice. You want to have a respectful situation. It's like, hey man, it's like, I've been fishing here for, a couple hours. Do you mind if I just have this? And I'll be glad to tell you what I'm catching them on. I just, pulled in here right now or whatever. Just try to come to terms in some type of civil, respectful conversation and try to work it out. If you're too close, if you pulled up and some guy says you're too close, you might say, well, man, I didn't mean to do that. It's like, is it okay with you if I can just go down another 100 yards down the bank, or I'll get down behind you a couple 100 yards like that? Just, you have to work every situation out, and you have to have some diplomacy skills in every situation, because every single situation is going to be different with that. But here's the thing about it. It's like, if you escalate a situation, if you are responsible for escalating a situation or somebody else is, all that's going to do is ruin your day. You're going to be pissed off the rest of the day thinking about it. It's going to ruin your day of fishing on the water. It's not worth it. So what you have to do is you neutralize that and you work it out where both people are satisfied by it. Now, I know it takes two responsible, mature people to do this. And a lot of times in these confrontations, you don't have that. You've seen a lot of times on the YouTube videos about some idiot will just go off on some dude for no reason and starts cussing them out right and left and wants to jump in their boat, which is a terrible idea. I can tell you right now, if you're ever one of those dudes that think you're going to jump in somebody's boat, you better think twice again, because it may completely change your life for the worst. That's the whole thing about it. It's like every situation's different. Just your tone and your presentation and your killing them with kindness is the best thing that you can do. Because if you show some just kindness and some decency and respect, a lot of times it will diffuse the situation right there. Even if you're dealing with some hothead goober, you can diffuse them a little bit. Another thing about it, if you do get in a conversation with some a-hole that is just mouthy as heck and just dropping F-bombs all the time, just call the law enforcement. Get their boat description, get their boat number, call the law enforcement, let them take care of it, and leave. Let them have it, whatever they do, call the cops, let them take care of it, get some pictures, and go on about your day, if it escalates to that point. Okay, that's one scenario. Now that could be with anybody on the water. The other on the water confrontations you're gonna probably encounter is if you have a lake that has a lot of boat docks, because there are some boat dock owners that don't feel like a bass fisherman could get within sight of their boat dock. I mean, it's ridiculous. And you've heard me talk about this before. I don't think people should be allowed to have boat docks on a lake. I think having a boat dock is an infringement on people's rights to use public water. And I should not have to my fishing should not be infringed just because somebody wants to put in a dock for their own benefit on a public body of water, and then they expect us to honor their private property on a public body of water. I don't even think anybody should be allowed to have a dock. I think docks should be illegal on lakes, except for maybe a marina dock or something. But if you do get into a boat dock owner there, a lot of these boat dock owners I have been around you can't reach them. They're just they're pissed off, they're mad. They probably spend, their whole day up in their recliner listening to some, hate cable, news talk show or something like that gets them all pissed off at the world all the time. And a lot of these guys, you can't deal with them. I mean, they're just going to be mouthy and everything with that. So you have a decision to make. It's like, is their dock that important to fish that you want to have to deal with that? Or a lot of people, go ahead and do it just to make a point, to make it mad, and that usually escalates the situation. But then again, usually the best situation with that is just to fish on through there. Don't let them run your day. If they get out of hand, again, you can call the police on them. You can call the law enforcement on them. That's usually the best thing. But the main thing that I want to reiterate in today's video, guys, is that you can do a lot on your end to just de-escalate a situation. And don't feel that your manhood has been lessened if you choose to de-escalate the situation and remove yourself from that situation. Because usually the most mature men I have ever met, and the ones that are usually the strongest, are the ones that are comfortable enough to de-escalate that situation. It's usually the loudmouths, the vocal people out there that are the ones that are in above their head and they don't even know it with that. So just kill them with kindness, use diplomacy skills, remove yourself from the situation if it's bad. Don't let some goober ruin your day. And if you're one of those guys out there that is a hothead and a big mouth, and you get pissed off and slighted at the slightest little thing that you think that somebody is doing something wrong to you, you probably ought to reevaluate your worldview and your own personality a little bit and just tone it down and tap it down, because I can assure you one of these days you're going to do something to the wrong dude and it's going to potentially change your life forever. So anyway, guys, hope everything's well. I'll talk to you guys later.